It's a winter night in February 1959, deep in the Urals of Soviet Russia. Snow crunches underfoot as 9 hikers set up camp on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, a name that translates eerily to Dead Mountain. These were not inexperienced adventurers. This group, led by a skilled hiker named Igor Dyatlov, consisted of university students and graduates. But little did they know this excursion would become one of the most chilling, unexplained mysteries of all time: the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The group had set out on January 27th, intending to traverse the wintry wilderness on what was rated as a Category 3 trekking expedition, meaning extremely difficult. But they were prepared, armed with sufficient gear, experience, and optimism. They made steady progress until February 1st, when they found themselves forced to camp on the slopes of that infamous Dead Mountain due to harsh weather conditions, a decision that would soon lead to tragedy. When weeks passed and no word came from Dyatlov and his group, search parties were dispatched to the area. What they uncovered was beyond anyone's darkest imagination. On February 26th, their campsite was found, but it didn't make sense. The hiker's tent had been ripped open from the inside. Gear, shoes, and clothing were left behind, as though its occupants had fled in panic, half-dressed into the freezing cold. A decision any experienced trekker would know is almost certainly fatal. It was as if they were trying to escape something. Investigators discovered the bodies scattered over several hundred meters, buried in snow and ice. Initially, it appeared to be a case of hypothermia, but the positions and conditions of their bodies sparked questions. Some were barefoot, wearing only underwear, while others showed evidence of extreme trauma. 2 members were found under a cedar tree, their hands bloodied, suggesting they had desperately tried to climb it, perhaps to escape or observe something. Then came the more disturbing details. One hiker, Lyudmila Dubinina, was discovered with her eyes missing and her tongue removed. How this happened remains utterly baffling. Another had skull fractures consistent with the force of a car crash. Others displayed broken ribs, but with no visible external injuries. What could cause such targeted harm? And then there was the strangest detail of all. Their clothing emitted traces of radioactive material. Why would hikers in the middle of nowhere have radiation on them? Theories began to swirl, each more bone-chilling than the last. Was it an avalanche? This was one of the initial theories. Perhaps the sound of snow shifting in the night startled the group into a panic, but an avalanche strong enough to cause such injuries would have completely buried the site. Notably, remained intact. What's more, the injuries sustained by the hikers didn't align with what one would expect from an avalanche. Another theory pointed fingers at Soviet military testing. Could they have stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to see? In fact, local reports from that night mention strange orange orbs lighting up the sky. UFO conspiracy theories abound, with some believing visitors from another world were involved. But is that any more plausible? There's yet another spine-chilling possibility: infrasound. This refers to low-frequency sound waves that are below the range of human hearing. Scientists theorize that certain atmospheric conditions on the slope could have created such sounds, causing the hikers to experience sensations of imminent doom and irrational fear, enough to drive them from their tents into almost certain death. The phenomenon has been dubbed the perfect storm of fear. But this doesn't fully explain the physical injuries and strange condition of their remains. In 2019, a new Russian investigation concluded that an avalanche was the likely cause of death for the hikers. But this explanation is widely disputed. After all, the sheer variety of strange elements, the tent ripped open from the inside, the grouped and scattered bodies, radiation, removed tongue and eyes, seem too bizarre to be coincidental or natural. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass Incident is shrouded in mystery. Even its name carries a heavy shadow. The Russian government officially renamed the pass after Dyatlov to forever memorialize the tragic event. Hundreds of amateur investigators have tried to come up with plausible explanations, but none have provided conclusive answers. Urban legends and myths continue to surround the case, and though the event occurred over 6 decades ago, it feels as if the cold wind from Kholat-Syakhl still whispers its secrets when the world isn't listening. Each year, adventurers and historians venture to the pass, some retracing the doomed route taken by those 9 hikers. But what they seek is not just a physical trail to follow. It's the hope of uncovering the truth behind one of the most disturbing unresolved mysteries in modern history. What really happened that night? Was something watching from the shadows of frozen mountain? Something triggered by the camper's presence? Or is it possible that the answer remains buried, forever hidden beneath the unyielding ice and snow? For now, all we have is speculation, a haunting tale of 9 lives lost under the strangest of circumstances, and the lingering question that echoes across Dyatlov Pass. Why? This has been another episode of Creepiest True Mysteries. Until next time, tread carefully, because sometimes the answers we seek are more unsettling